Welcome back, I'm TJ. We're doing a quick video today on the M1 battery. Why are we doing it on a battery? Well, because there's a ton of questions about this battery specifically, because if you see, there's only this little balance port. There's not anything like an XT30 that usually comes on a battery for something of this size, or literally any other kind of connector. It's just the little balance connector, which it does come with this adapter. So if you plug the balance connector into the adapter, it makes it into a little XT60 with your balance plug. And you can use this to charge it just like any other battery, where you take this adapter, you plug it into the charger with the balance port and charge the battery. Works great if you only have one battery. But if you're looking at my table, I've got a ton. So that doesn't help. So what do? I see on RC groups, there's a ton of options. There's a lot of people that are a whole lot smarter than me. And you guys are awesome. But I like to keep things simple to where I don't want to do any guesswork. If I got a paraboard, whatever's going to work. So, well, I just said the word paraboard. And that's exactly what this video is about. The Micro Paraboard, actually this one says Paraboard V3 from buddyrc. So on buddyrc, we have this available. It has a bunch of different, well, outputs that you can use, you know, the PH2S, MCPX, the Pico adapter. But what we're most interested in is this one on the far right. Yeah, this side. Right. It's on my left now. My brain's not working too good today. But it's this adapter here. It's 10 of them. These batteries plug directly into those. So this paraboard comes in at like $17, $16.90 something. So very affordable. Get this, all your batteries up to 10, you can plug into this and charge with a charger. We're actually going to use the iCharger S6 today. Now, while we're doing this, I want to actually go in and explain a little bit in depth, or more in depth, on balance charging, how to do it correctly, what to do. But if you're interested in how we're doing this, it's literally with this balance board, and then any charger that accepts an XT60 works. So you don't have to get too fancy with it, but we're going to dive right in and go through how we balance charge, what I take into consideration when we balance charge, some recommendations when you balance charge, and let's dive right into the video. All right, before we even get started doing this, I want to take a minute and just talk safety. You know, anytime you're messing with lipos, batteries, anything, if you don't know what you're doing or you're doing it incorrectly, it can lead to accidents, fires, you know, things like that. At least you could lead to damaged batteries, batteries that don't work. At most, it could lead to your house burning down. You know, I kind of hesitate to get that dramatic with it, but it has happened. It's happened to friends of mine, you know, where they've lost their garage, and in some cases, they've lost literally part of their house. So, you know, take this serious, treat it with respect, and you'll be fine. So with the doom and gloom out of the way, really want to start off by doing, you know, going over some, you know, recommendations, especially things that I do personally that, you know, I've been doing this for many years now. Knock on wood, I haven't had an accident with a battery that wasn't intentional. You know, I've done some videos out there, you know, with making things explode. Just to show, you know, what it takes to actually get to that point. But with these, what we want to talk about is, you know, how to parallel charge them safely, what we're looking for, and what we're going to do. So to start out with, the first thing we always want to check with, you know, just any kind of battery checker. So we're using the BatGo from ISDT, or actually the BG8S from ISDT, and just simply plug in a battery. It's going to pop up. And see if we can see this here. So we got 3.8 and 3. Well, just call it 3.8, 3.79, 3.80. All these should be fairly similar. So 3.82, 3.82. And what we're looking for is we want these batteries all to be fairly close when it comes to voltage level. So, you know, if these are 3.8 and some of these are 3.7, or some of these are 3.9, I'm going to call it good. You know, I'm looking for, you know, a 2-cell battery to be within like 0.2 volts of each other. or roughly 0.1 volt per cell. I'll actually a plug in for Oscar Liang. So these are 3.8. We're just gonna go through and do a real quick check. But yeah, so Oscar Liang's blog, if you don't know what that is, the dude is a wealth of knowledge. There's so much information there around a lot of different things in the hobby, most specifically FPV, but he does a lot of really cool things. Check it out. I have a link in the description for you. And now that we've verified all of our batteries, so this one's actually up to 4.08. So this one is a little bit out of what I'm looking for. So all of these are 3.8. 4.0 is close enough, but I'm not going to do it just for sake of this video. So we're going to lay it to the side. So now we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batteries. They are 350 milliamps a piece. And whenever we plug these in to our paraboard on this side here, it's going to pretty much take all of these batteries and turn them into one big battery. So how do we figure out what we want to charge these at? So the easiest way to do it is get out our handy dandy calculator, otherwise known as a cell phone. So we have 6 batteries at 350 milliamps each. So 0.350 times 6. So that would be 2.1 amps. So for these batteries here, I always charge mine at 1C. What is 1C? 1C for a 7.4 volt 350 milliamp hour battery would be 0.35 amps. So you take 0.35 amps like we just did, you multiply it by the number of batteries you have, so 6, and we come up with 2.1 amps. So we can charge all of these together at 2.1 amps. Now let's say we only have 3. What are we going to charge 3 batteries at? So same thing again, just 0.35 times 3, so 1.05. So honestly, I'd go up to like 1.1 amp if we were only charging 3, but like we said, we've got 6. So let's go ahead and get all of this hooked up nice and easy. I got an old power supply here. I've got an iCharger S6, and then we're just gonna hook up our paraboard and then just start plugging in some batteries. Now when you're charging, ideally you're gonna do this in a safe environment with nothing flammable around, not on a wooden table with all kinds of wires and things laying around. Charge while you are there. Don't walk away and leave it. Now when we're plugging these batteries in, it honestly doesn't matter which port we go into. So I started at the top, started going down. We literally could skip ports, it doesn't matter. So plug all these in. Now you can see here, it only shows 2 cell voltages. And the reason it only shows 2 cell voltages, it's only a 2 cell battery. So all we did is when we combined all of these like this, it's still a 2 cell battery. It just combined all of the capacities. Now, a few recommendations, like we just did before we plug these in, you want all these to be fairly balanced, like 0.2 volts between them. So it could be 3.8, it could be up to 4.0, or down to 3.6. As long as they're fairly close, that's what we're looking for. And then we want roughly, so Dale here in the office, he's literally a chemist. And when me and him were talking a while back about it, he said, when you're parallel charging, you want to look for batteries roughly the same age. If you have one battery that's a year old and another battery that is literally brand new out of the box, you want to kind of try not to balance charge those together, mainly because the age affects the internal resistance, and one battery is going to charge better than another one, and it's actually going to slow down the process, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Another thing, just like this, they're all 2 cell batteries, so you want all of your batteries to be the same cell count, roughly the same capacity. So here's an asterisk. You want roughly the same capacity. For me personally, I only use the same capacity. So if I have 1300 milliamp hour batteries, those can parallel charge only with 1300 milliamp hour batteries. I don't like mix and match. Verify the voltages like we just did, and then a 1C charge rate like we calculated a minute ago for these 6 batteries is 2.1 amps. So for the iCharger S6, we're just gonna go in here, Select one. I'm going to tell it to charge. Come over, drop it down to 2.1 amps. Fast balance, start, and yes. So it starts automatically running. Now, again, Paraboard on buddyrc.com. Tons of extra batteries on there as well if you want to pick up some of those. But for us here in the shop, this is how we charge our batteries. And you know, it does a really good job. We don't have to have any crazy adapters. We don't have to solder anything extra. You know, it works, and that's really what I personally aim for. All right, and that's all there is to it. So a quick tip video. I'm gonna try to put out more of these every week. If you like this type of video and you want to see more of it, do me a favor, push the like button. It really does do a lot to help us out. Leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button. Push the bell, get notifications coming in so you can see when we upload videos much like this one. And we'll catch you on the next one.